Hey YouTube, it's Lisa, and I have two things to talk about today. Okay, so first of all, I want to tell you guys that we're selling our house. I might have already mentioned that, but it's actually close now. Like, it goes on the market in 10 days. Our renters move out in 7 days. We have someone coming in to recarpet the whole upstairs. We have someone coming in to paint. We have someone coming in to clean. And then we have us coming in. And let me tell you, there will be 3 days of total bath taking in my garden tub from our old house. I don't miss the house at all, but I miss the tub. So my son thought that was really funny. So I will be taking a bath. I will be taking about 8 hours a day of long, hot baths for 3 days in a row. So we're selling our house, and the wonderful thing about that, there are many wonderful things about that, and that is we're gonna be rid of that stupid house, but don't tell anybody because I want them to buy it. But it's a great house, just not for me. I don't like the HOA, I don't like cleaning the house, I don't like having to clean 3.5 bathrooms. I don't like having to pay a maid to clean the bathrooms if I can't clean the bathrooms. And I honestly, one of the things I don't like the most, aside from not being able to spend time with my kids because I'm always cleaning when we lived in a house. And then on the weekends, we were working on the yard, so we didn't get a nasty gram from the HOA about our dandelions. But really, the other thing I don't like, that I don't miss, is kind of being so separate from my kids. When they were in the basement, I had really no idea like what was going on because I was cleaning, I'm sure. So anyway, but the other great thing, aside from the fact that I don't ever want to live in that house again, the other great thing about selling it is I can take you guys on a tour. And that's one of the things that I really regretted not doing before we sold the house. Of course, you won't necessarily see it furnished and stuff like that, but you will be able to see the space that we used to live in. 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 3,000 square feet. And so I'll be able to take you guys on a tour. So that'll be upcoming in the next week or two. Hopefully someone will buy it really soon. And then the second thing I wanted to do was take you on a tour of my living room. And that is because, so I think in a couple I mentioned that we were starting renovations, and we've been doing kind of slow renovations throughout the whole time that we've lived here. But not the kind that make it look awesome, but the kind that like make it like so we can function with a larger family. But one of my biggest regrets is because I have the patience of a 2-year-old, I was not able to like say, hey, why don't we like paint and stuff before we move in? I'm like, oh, we bought an RV, let's move in today. So we basically moved in the day we bought it. So I watched a couple other videos on YouTube about other people who've like renovated and stuff, and they were like patient people who, you know, waited until they moved in, and so they had a nice empty RV to paint. So now we were trying to paint, and okay, so here's the epiphany I had. I have tried everything to avoid having to paint, to prime and paint. Honestly, I've wanted white in this RV the entire time, but I have tried everything thinking I could learn to like it because, oh my goodness, you have to prime everything and then paint it like 3 times to get that solid, beautiful white color. And I wish I would have done that before we moved all of our stuff in, because now we're going to need to take, my husband's probably going to need to take 3 or 4 days off so we can like move everything out and really do that. Maybe even stay in a hotel for a couple days so that we don't have to breathe the fumes and things like that. But we're not going to actually be able to start that because currently we're in sell the house mode, and we're also in travel for the summer mode. We're only here for 4 more weeks, and then we hit about, like, I don't know, I was gonna say 20 states. We don't really hit 20 states. We might hit 7 until August. We're gonna be like traveling a lot. So it's not the time. But anyway, I thought I would give you a tour of all the things I've done to try to avoid the white thing. And my house is not super clean right now, but I'm going to give you a tour nonetheless, just of the living room. And then another day I'll give you a tour of the bedroom. And then another day I'll give you a tour of the boys' room. But I think I told you we're still in a little bit of a quandary with that because of the broken bookcase. Never move with your books on the shelves. All right, so without further ado, here is the tour. Okay, so here is our front door. And when you come in the front door, to the right, you will see a shoe sticking out from under the bathroom door, but that is the door to our bedroom, and we currently have an obnoxious Dalmatian in there. And we put a shoe rack on there. That is something we'll probably keep. And then the full bath is to the left. That's a whole other tour. Because once again, I have a bag of trash in there. You know why? Because our dumpster is still full and I can't get rid of it. So the full bath, and then here we have a teeny minuscule bitty closet. Seriously, it's supposed to be a coat closet. You can hang one of my like 6-year-old's jackets in there, maybe. And then down here is where all of our little switches and all that good stuff is. And then down here, I am quite familiar with this little fuse box here because over the last summer we stayed at a campground that for some reason we blew a fuse like constantly. Anyway, you can see we painted green and our cat walked in it, and I have to use some acetone or some nail polish remover or something to take it off. But anyway, yes, you can see that the cat walked up the stairs with green paint on her feet. So here's our non-white paint. It's yellow, and I painted it thinking, oh, we'll just brighten it up with yellow and then maybe we could leave the other cupboards brown. But we spent a week painting and it looks hideous, and it doesn't look hideous, but it's not what I wanted. It's just not what I wanted. So, okay, so then we're going to come in here, and over here is, well, there's my son, and he's sitting in these 2 chairs that we replaced these huge recliners that we had, and there's our water thing, and I have total issues with water, and that is why we have a water cooler, because I just cannot even fathom drinking. A lot of people drink out of the faucet. I just can't even see doing it. So then over here, I'll go, and we have our little nook where that couch is blue, and it has a sheet over it. Not because I love the look of a sheet, but because our horribly obnoxious dog, well, we do have stuff stored under there, and that's a great thing. Thank you, Jacob. We actually have some, like, we have storage. We have little baskets that pull out from under there that we put there. But the reason we have the sheet on is because our dog went swimming in the lake the other day and then decided to lay all over the couch while we were outside. And so it is like covered with mud to the point where I might actually have to replace it. And that couch is a replacement from the other couch, which the other couch actually came out to the ridge of the slide and gave us, see that ridge right there? That gave us very, very little space and very little walkway room. So as you can see, we've painted this inner wall green because I thought I could make it like a bohemian look by doing these fantastic cabinets, which I don't know if you can see how that, so I did these little like bohemian cabinets, and I thought it would look super cool, and it does look kind of cool, but it's just not the clean, crisp white that I wanted. So over here is the table that we put in. This used to be a U-shaped couch. It was really horribly huge and obnoxious, and it made the whole room seem really small, and my kids needed a table to do schoolwork. Now, I don't like that table anymore. And what I have decided to do is put a couch and a couple of chairs all along this wall after we sell the house and I have a ton of time on my hands. And then I'm going to get rid of these 2 chairs all together, which I replaced them. I'm sorry if I tip this camera. For some reason it makes it really small, but I've got it kind of upright. So anyway, I'm going to replace these 2 chairs and put a table here. And then because we just still do not have enough seating, and plus with this chair here, if you're like someone who is just not naturally organized, you will find if you walk in the door, you will just like set stuff there. It's like a space for setting stuff. So, okay, so that is, let me try to give you a little bit more of a view from here. So my kids made lunch today, and then their friend came over and asked if they could play, and so that is why we still have dishes on the table. And you can see I have little, container of the little things on the back of the chairs, which I will probably keep doing that. I really like having my kids' school stuff in there. And then here is our island, which makes it look, it really looks messy when it's dirty. And then I have a trone here, and I used to have this for shoes, but honestly, it did not contain all of our shoes, so I'm probably going to be taking it down and putting a couple of racks across there just to hold some various things. And that back there, that back door, that is the door to my kids' bedroom, and you don't even want to see in there right now. This is a little thing that we put in from IKEA. It's just little slide out cabinets. It used to go all the way to the ceiling, but we recently took out the second level because there were a lot we couldn't reach and it was just obnoxious. And so this still needs to be super organized. But right now, that's just the way it is. We're getting rid of the toaster oven. I've decided to just put a toaster. I really don't use the toaster oven like I thought. There's our TV. This is this was my sample paint job where I realized, holy cow, it's going to take me. I'm actually either going to have to prime or paint 4 coats, which is what made me decide to do a million other things to try to not have to paint white. So here are, and then like there's our little refrigerator. Honestly, we do not have a huge issue with it being small. When we first moved in, I thought we would put a full size in. I don't think that's a priority for me right now. Oh, and over here, I forgot to show you. I have like, I have our blender and stuff on there, and I will probably put our crock pot up there. Okay, but yeah, anyway, these cabinets, I am finding our RV has actually fewer cabinets than most. And that's really annoying because who has a 41.5 foot fifth wheel that has like so few cabinets? So anyway, there is some storage in the island underneath over here. You can see some of the drawers because I have kids there left open. There is some storage in here, but it's not really great storage. It's like one of those black hole spaces that we really need to manage. And then over here is the stove and the microwave, and my KitchenAid has really kind of found a permanent home there. So that is kind of the initial tour of this part. Okay, so here are my upper cabinets, and we are actually in a total decluttering zone right now. What I have found is anytime we stay somewhere for longer than a month, I let too much clutter come into the house, and once again, I'm not naturally organized, so I really struggle and have to minimize our stuff right away. But let me just show you, no Joseph. So I have one of my kids who really is a little ham and wants to be on camera, so I will let him be for a moment. There's just Joseph and Ducky. Okay, so up here in these cabinets, I've been keeping them open because I'm an out of sight, out of mind person, and I don't want to forget that this stuff is there. So I've been opening up the cabinets. I have these 2 open already. I don't know, somebody shut these. They must have thought it looked messy. And then my label maker broke the other day. And that is something I can't live without. But my husband has since fixed it, but I still haven't labeled the thing. So let me just kind of go through what I did up here. It used to be our games, but I decided they were so high that the kids couldn't really access them that easily. So up here, I have our art supplies up here. Like these are like the things that we actually use, like paints and crayons and oil pastels and stuff like that. And then I have art paper, like watercolor paper and charcoal paper and origami and just stuff that we use, even construction paper in there. And then these are our 2 math bins that I like to bring down when we're doing homeschooling or I'm reading aloud and the kids need to do something. But it was kind of a jumbled mess. And they're also, if you homeschool, you understand that some math things are very expensive. And oftentimes I would find some of those, like those cubit blocks and things kind of on the floor for the dog to eat. So I thought these weren't bad things to just leave up there where I can easily lift them down and just put them out for the time that we're reading or doing math and then put them back up there. But I am leaving the cupboards open just until I get used to everything being there. And then I have our reading bin just with like some of our summer reading, and then notebooks. And then over here, this is like my daily stuff. Things that we read daily. It's got a couple of Shakespeare books, a current book we're reading, just anything in there. So I am trying, this is the first time I've ever done our schooling stuff up here. I've tried to do it in the past where it was down lower where the kids could reach it, but I have found that just basically their little pockets, having like just me filling their pockets is working better, and me having access to that stuff. So that's how I did that, and I'll let you know if it works. I just recently did it because we did a whole decluttering thing, and yeah, I am not an organizing expert, but what has really worked for me is getting rid of, well, because I'm not organized naturally, I come from a total hippie family that is also not naturally organized because they're like wild and carefree. I have had to make minimalism like a really big thing in my family for us to even be functional. So that was a tour of our living room and the reasons that we've stopped our renovations. We're selling our house and we need to take time off to do the whole white thing. And we're gonna actually replace all of the furniture that's along that side. Originally I had wanted like one of those bigger IKEA couches, but then I thought like I wanted a table there, and I found it really hard to get rid of the space where the water cooler was for seating because I don't know, I just did. And I have since realized it's a really good space for a table. And then under the couch, we're gonna store our folding chairs and stuff like that so that we can all still sit at the table, and we're gonna have like a pull-out table. But anyway, that is why we've stopped renovations. And I guess it kind of goes to that old saying, if you're gonna do it right the first time. Because honestly, we have spent hours and hours and hours painting, and I spent hours doing the cupboards, and I'm actually going to peel that whole bohemian thing off because I don't like it. Well, I do like it. It's super cute, but it's not what I wanted. I really wanted the white because has such clean, neat lines. And I really thought the yellow would help brighten things up and I wouldn't have to paint the cabinets white. But it just didn't. It's not the look I want. I want white. Let's just face it. I want white, and we're going to just have to put in the time to do the primer and everything. And yeah. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I will be doing a tour of my boys' room and of the master bedroom soon. So there's been hardly any renovation in there other than the fact that we divided our boys' room into trying to make 2 rooms. I can't really do too much with that right now because we're completely changing it because we're having to take out all the broken bookshelves. But we did do a whole bunch of decluttering last night, so that is making life easier, and we put all of their Legos in a big bin that we're going to put in the hold. And anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And anyway, have a great day, guys.